volcanic
Sure.
Earth-shattering
eruption of what? From the NBA when Shams Charania would put out a tweet saying that Luka Doncic, the man who has been the face of the Dallas Mavericks, the man who took the Dallas Mavericks to the finals less than a year ago, the man who's been synonymous with not only that city, that team, that franchise, but also the NBA as a whole, has got his fat ass, if you listen to the way Dallas Mavericks were talking about it, shipped to Los Angeles for Anthony Davis, who once again was the man that the Lakers were going to build around. This is the future. The team can't be operating around LeBron James. He's too old. This team's got to run through Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, very comfortable in his locker. Okay? Very comfortable. Saying we need another big guy, we need a point guard or something like that. If we want to really make a run at this thing, this is what we're going to need. Everybody around the league is talking about how Anthony Davis is the focal point. Everybody talking about Dallas, Luka Doncic's team, Kyrie joining Luka. And instead now, both of them gone. New teams, new era, new time. Shams Charania comes into ESPN, and he had haters behind the scenes who didn't think he was the guy who was supposed to be the senior insider, and drops a big old, suck it, 91 million views on this tweet alone. At this point, that's going to be up over 100 million. You're talking about maybe the biggest trade, okay, in the history of sports. Now, they're taking it back old school to a 31-year-old Wilt, I believe, who got traded in 1968 or something. I understand that there is been big movement in the past, but this one, gigantic, earth-shattering, volcanic-like surprise of, whoa, are you serious? Shams Charania will join us in a matter of 33 minutes. He's a man who changed sports completely with one tweet. A man who said, yeah, I am the senior NBA insider at ESPN. A man who said, wait a minute, is this real? And then fired off a 100 million view tweet.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shams Charania.
Yeah, Shami.
Shami, how you doing? You peacocking around a little bit around those ESPN studios? You know, some people probably had a little bit of a question. Why are we bringing in Shams Charania? It should be me. I'm not helping this guy out. And all you do is fire off a tweet a little bit after midnight, change the trajectory of the entire NBA. Not only this season, but forever. Congrats, Shams. We're proud of you, buddy.
Yeah, Shams.
Listen, I had no idea. You never know going to trade deadline what it's going to be like. But this obviously, Pat, you saw me. I was lounging at my house. You posted the picture of me with my unmade hair and my glasses.
Cool.
You gave yeah, there you go. You gave the viewers a look at how I am when I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you weren't expecting this. Let's talk about the story. And everybody was saying it was fake. Everybody's saying you were hacked. You know, it was too big of a story for little old Shams Charania to break. It was too big of a story for this to actually happen in reality. So I wanted to FaceTime you because I was still up after Royal Rumble. Tough to sleep after those WWE events for me. So I FaceTime you just to see if you answer. You couldn't even answer because your phone was going off. So you had to answer me on a computer, which is why go ahead.
My phone was literally I swear it was malfunctioning. I had up to 300 unread messages. I kept getting call after call after call. I swear my phone malfunctioned because I had to start taking FaceTimes off my Mac. I had to start texting off my Mac. So shout out Apple. You know, I guess they're making products for these different ways for you to get access to your text messages or whatever.
Well,
but
and can Apple understand that when Shams wants to break the world, he needs to be able to access the rest of the world afterwards. You should be incredibly proud of yourself, Shams. That's a big ass deal, brother. How'd it come about? Obviously, you said you were lounging. How long had you known this was happening? I think old buddy Collins said a few weeks back he reached out to Pelinka or whatever at the Lakers, and he said we kept it real tight. We kept it real tight just to see what was possible. When did you find out about this? And what do you think this messaging is from both teams about the particular trade?
So, Pat, the formal offer of Luka Doncic was made really recently, really over the last week or so. And when Nico Harrison calls Rob Pelinka and offers Luka Doncic in a trade, obviously that's nothing that Rob Pelinka is thinking about on a day-to-day basis. The Lakers never are going to shop Anthony Davis or try to trade Anthony Davis. So the Mavericks are really the ones that initiated this conversation, that made this formal offer. And it's interesting, Pat, this is a peek back into my life. Last week, I was hearing some stuff around the Mavericks and the Lakers that they might be discussing a player in a trade. And that might have been the greatest smokescreen ever. Because clearly it wasn't that player. It was something way bigger, way more seismic, nuclear, every word you can come up with. Like, this is one of the biggest trades in pro sports. This is the biggest trade, most shocking trade in NBA history. When you think about Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, they're two all NBA players. Anthony Davis, in all of this, I think has gotten he's 31. He's gotten a little bit short end of the stick here. He's an all NBA player. He's an all defensive player. He just had a 40-20 game in his last game for the Lakers. Like, he can play, and the Mavericks clearly believe that him and Kyrie Irving and those guys on that roster will give this Mavericks team a better chance to win a championship. They're betting against Luka Doncic. They're betting against Luka Doncic's ability to sustain fitness, his body, his physique, and they are going all in on Anthony Davis. Clearly, that's the player that they targeted. But on the other hand, this is Luka Doncic. He's 25 years old. He's the face of this Mavericks franchise. Now he's going to be the face of the Lakers franchise, a franchise that has LeBron James on this roster. And LeBron James at the age of 40 years old is going to be able to, at year 22, be able to mentor Luka Doncic in a lot of ways. Like, give him so much wisdom to be able to take it to another level. And that's someone that Luka Doncic idolizes and has a lot of respect for as well. So, listen, I never thought there would be a day where the Mavericks would trade Luka Doncic outside of him requesting to be traded. Mark Cuban said in recent years he would rather get a divorce than trade Luka Doncic. They were going to build a statue for Luka Doncic outside the Dallas Mavericks arena. And just as quickly, they have traded him, and they let him know several minutes before I put the news out that Lakers let Anthony Davis know before I put this news out, and off we go.
Okay, so obviously a lot there. Congratulations on you getting the scoop. You said that Dallas is betting against Luka's conditioning and being able to stay in shape. There's also a tie to the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks with AD, right? Isn't he kind of like used to work at Nike? They kind of did the deal together. When did this all happen? Because the video of Luka enjoying a beer after a big-time game and somebody from the Mavericks taking the beer out of his hand obviously recycles around the internet. When did the Mavericks say, you know what, this guy's fat. This guy isn't a professional. This guy isn't who we want to build around. Because to your point, it felt like that was like Kyrie was going to Luka's team. And on the Lakers side, they got to build around Anthony Davis. They can't build around LeBron was the conversation. When do these things change? And did it only change with AD and the Lakers because Luka was available?
I mean, it had to have changed. It clearly changed this season. Like, Luka Doncic, everyone likes to make, there's always this commentary about his weight, about his conditioning, about his game shape, how he's looking. This is something year over year gets talked about, gets dissected. But at the end of the day, Luka Doncic is a perennial MVP candidate. At the end of the day, no matter what he looks like, no matter his physique, no matter anything.
He's a good tubby player.
He just led the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals 7 months ago. But for whatever reason, and I will say this, there has been levels of friction with Luka Doncic and not the roster, but the organization and even the medical staff, the performance staff, and stuff that you would think that you manage and you work through because of the talent that Luka Doncic is, because of the greatness of Luka Doncic. But clearly, the Mavericks felt in order to win a championship right now, we are not, this is in their mind, we are not going to be able to do it with Luka Doncic the way we're going to be able to do it with Anthony Davis. That is the gamble that they're making. That's the bet that they're making. And who knows? I mean, if they win a championship in the next 3 years, justifiable to do this trade. Because for the Lakers, this is more for the longer term. This is for the next 10 years. This is to set their franchise up.
Got it. And whenever the Mavs came and played the Pacers, 77 jerseys throughout the entire arena. Oh, yeah. I assume that is everywhere. So for the Mavericks front office to be like, I wish hell on the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. That is what I wish. Although I like Anthony Davis, I like Kyrie. It's like Luka was your show pony, brother. And let's see what life is like without it. Saw what happened with the Cavs yesterday against the Mavs. Now, we only have a few minutes here. There's a lot happening around the NBA, especially in your world. And Luka misses out on that Supermax because he goes to a new team. Woo! Can't get 345. I think it's like 200 and something. Whatever the case, that was decided by this Nico guy that Luka can no longer make that, even though he put that entire city, franchise, and NBA on his back. If I'm Luka, it's a big fuck 'em all party happening, and hopefully LeBron's able to get him tightened up.